Like, share, subscribe. Let's get into it. Every now and then in your life, you're going to deal with things that, in my opinion, that will make it just extremely tough to be successful, make it extremely tough to get your goals accomplished. And because of that, you're going to oftentimes deal with things outside of your control. In my opinion, those things oftentimes can be so overwhelming that you, in your mind, you may think that you're a victim. Um, and I would say that definitely happened to me. I Let's go back and rewind maybe 3 years ago, just 3.5 years ago. And 3.5 years ago, I was just struggling with just jobs that I just had no interest in, over and over, doing these same jobs. And I blamed a plethora of things in terms of things that were so far out of my control. I blamed skin tone, where I was from, in terms of the city, the state I was from, upbringing, in terms of the schools I went to, neighborhoods, etc. And these things were so far out of my control, it really didn't even matter, right? But these things it just made it so difficult, in my opinion. I blamed it on the college I went to, the university I went to, and the fact that I was able to accrue so much debt. I just viewed it as these things were outside of my control, and I just felt helpless. And so, little by little, throughout the last few years, I started being able to take power back for myself. I started being able to just focus on things that I could control. I was not going to be concerned of, of my skin tone. I was not going to be concerned of where I was from. I was not going to be concerned about the schools I went to, the university I went to, whether it was, because in my mind, everyone was against me. Everyone was making me do things I didn't want to do. That's how I felt, but that really wasn't the case. I felt that the university had kind of screwed me in a sense of, like I said, getting that much debt. But at the end of the day, who made you? No one made me go to college, right? No one made me sign that paper. That was my fault. Uh, and even still, I mean, that degree now has obviously it's obviously ended up helping me later. But nonetheless, in terms of being able to go and graduate debt free, that was just not going to be my case. That was not going to be the case for me. Though once again, it will be the case for my son, though, amazingly enough. But just thinking about those things, I just stopped worrying about it. I stopped worrying about it. I started controlling what I could control. I started getting up. I started doing jobs. I started teaching, started accepting things that was going to be a little uncomfortable for me. Things that weren't perfect for me because I was so dead set on making sure I had this business, making sure that I didn't work for somebody, making sure that I made X amount of dollars per year. Uh, but instead of focusing on perfection, I just focused on perfecting, just getting better day by day, little by little, understanding that, you know what, I'm in this thing for the long haul. I stopped doing these little crazy investments. I used to like just do random crazy day trade investing. Not to say that there's anything wrong with that, but I just was not doing it with any calculation, any real strategy outside of this is hitting the lottery, which is what I might as well try to have done, should have done. But I just had no real strategy. I just kept saying, you know what, by the weekend, I'll do something crazy over the week. This is literally where my mind's going. I'm thinking over the weekend, I'm going to do something and it's going to happen. And then by Monday, I won't have to show up to the job no more. And that's just the way I was thinking. That's where my mind was going. And so, like I said, I started just controlling things that I could control, started focusing, and I just started dialing in. There were a lot of things in terms of, you know what, understand that no one forced me to do none of those things. No one forced me to get the degree I chose. I used to think the degree I had was worthless. No one chose me to choose that school. No one chose me to go in debt. No one forced me to go in debt. No one forced me to do any of these things. These things I chose. Regardless of how I felt at the time, I chose them. Because I chose them, I had to deal with them. And so what I just started doing was, you know what, I'm gonna be debt free. I'm gonna be debt free. I'm not going to let that get in the way of my life. I want something better for me. I want something better for my family, and I want something better for my son in particular. And so I'm going to get that. I'm going to absolutely be. I'm going to absolutely make sure that I get those things for our family. And so that just started motivating me. Just started making sure I stayed consistent every single day. And the craziest thing is, I was just telling my fiance this. I don't feel as motivated as I used to. To me, motivation is emotional. I don't feel as fired up and amped up, which may explain why I'm not as consistent with the YouTube thing as I'd like to be. But I don't feel as motivated as I used to be. But I feel far more dedicated. I feel far more dedicated than I've ever been in my life, because I don't always feel like doing things, but I get up, I grind. Every day I get up and I grind. I go for it. I don't care what anyone else is doing in their life. I don't care how much fun I see another person having. Hey, good for you. Enjoy your life. And I'm having fun too. I'm just dominating what is right in front of me. Whatever's in front of me, I'm going to dominate it and I'm going to conquer it. It's going to absolutely be mine. But I don't have to say that with the fervor that I used to say it with. I don't have to say it with the emotion that I used to say it with. It's just simply going to happen. Nothing is in my way. Nothing is in my way. Nothing is in your way. If you want to do something and you want to be something, you go out there, you do it. You apply yourself. You figure out what are the things that are in your way. What are the things that are in your way? And then you just start making strategy. And then you start moving. And oftentimes you just have to do, because oftentimes you don't know what's in your way until you make your trek towards that goal, towards that destination. And so because of those things, like I said, I want to make sure that everyone is focused. We are focused. We are dialed in. We're ready to be great. We're focused. We're dialed in. We're not concerned with what other people are doing. If someone else is being successful, we congratulate them. We keep it moving. We're not hating on it. And so that's just the focus of the year. Remember to like, share, subscribe to this channel. There's more on the way. And thank you for your time.